Going to take you back to Alexandra. Gauteng Premier David Makhura has just addressed residents on what will be done to help them rebuild their homes. Malungelo boy, you're live to us now, tracking that story. What's unfolding in Alexandra?
Hi there, Michelle. I mean, you are seeing some residents actually that are protesting. Now, we have been told by some community leaders and some of the residents actually that have been affected by the blaze that the residents that you are currently seeing on your screens are not the residents that have actually been affected by the blaze. We have been told that it's residents from another area, and if you can actually see, Michelle, the way they are dressed, you can see that it's people that woke up from their homes and knew exactly that the Premier was going to come here. It's people that are saying that they want their RDP houses, which they say have actually been illegally occupied by immigrants. I'm just reading some of their placards, Michelle. It was also interesting hearing some of the leaders of this area that has been affected by the fire urging those that have been affected by the fire not to join the people that you are actually seeing protesting in front of you. And of course, the protesters arrived as David Makhura was wrapping up his address to some of the residents that have been left destitute by the fire that we told destroyed about 500 homes. Premier David Makhura telling those residents that have been affected by the fire that they are doing everything possible to assist to make sure that the people are able to rebuild their homes and so that they can literally resume their lives. Michelle, it was also interesting, though, police had to intervene when some of the leaders from the community that's affected by the fire, when they were confronting the protesters, saying that they must go away. They don't have a reason to be here because they are not the ones that have been affected by the fire, merely saying, Michelle, that the people that you're seeing in front of you protesting are people that are hijacking, this devastation that we've seen in this area.
Malungelo, this is an issue that people have spoken to you about there in Alexandra. The fact that political parties, political leaders only come to the area as part of their electioneering, especially as we build up to national elections next year. What did the Premier have to say about that?
Well, the Premier actually, Michelle, was telling these residents that last night, yesterday when this fire broke out, he said that's when they started to interact with various NGOs seeking help so that the residents can be assisted. He said that, Michelle, they will continue to work with these NGOs to make sure that these residents are provided with food and also clothes. But also, most importantly, Michelle, we are saying that he is as the government, they were going to assist these residents to be able to rebuild their homes as a matter of urgency, and of course saying that they're also mobilizing several other government departments, including social development and home affairs. Bear in mind, Michelle, some people here have lost their IDs, and so they will need home affairs so that they can be able to have their IDs again. I'm trying to see, Michelle, if I can just talk to one of these protesting residents. How are you, Mama? How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm well. Why are you here?
We are tired of the foreigner in our RDP houses. We want our RDP houses back.
But why are you coming here? Why are you coming here? Because
because the MEC is here. She don't want to come to us to confront the community.
So you decided you want to come here.
Yes, we have the messages on our placards.
So
These messages.
you don't think you have been disrupting the people that have been affected by the fire?
No, we are not disrupting. We are also helping them.
In fact,
In what way? In what way?
in fact, we're not disturbing them because they are also affected. They also want houses. Our citizens, they also want houses. Our DP houses that are occupied by foreigners. I want to say stop corruption. Our officials, stop corruption.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Michelle, you've heard the residents that are protesting saying that they're actually not disrupting what's actually happening here, what they're doing. In fact, they're also helping those that have been affected by the fire. It's quite interesting, they're saying that, because the residents that have been affected by the fire actually tried to chase these residents away, and police had to step in to intervene.
Malungelo, some big promises as well being made by the Premier there just a moment ago as he was addressing those residents. He says as soon as possible you will be back to where you were living. This is an emergency situation, he says, and it will be all hands on deck to try and rebuild those structures. What does that mean exactly?
That's $1 million question. What an important question, Michelle, but that's a $1 million question. I mean, one of the things that he did not talk about was the time frame as to when exactly these residents would be back into their to their communities, to their homes rather. All he was saying was that they're going to do everything possible to make sure that they are back as soon as possible to their homes. But I mean, what does exactly that mean? And Michelle, I will ask David Makhura that question as to what exactly does it mean? Does it mean that these residents would be back into their homes before the end of the day today? Will they be living in their structures? Because in fact they haven't. I have not seen any new corrugated iron structures that government has provided for these community members so that they can start to rebuild their homes. These residents are using the old corrugated iron structures that have actually been destroyed in the place. In fact, Michelle, we're following David Makhura. I'm hoping that we will catch up with him very soon, because we also want to engage with him on some of the promises that he has made. He's actually seeing firsthand, Michelle, for the first time. Besides seeing this on television, he's here to see it for himself, the devastation that was caused by that fire. And of course, residents having said to us, emergency officials, when they arrived here, they were simply not prepared to help out, to put out that blaze. And of course, emergency officials saying that one of the biggest challenges that they had was that fire hydrants were not working. Let's just hear the interaction that David Makhura has with residents.
Siyabonga kakhulu uthi niyasebenza ukuzolungisa lento yenzakele la. Yeah, we are here to support you, to rebuild. Yeah, we are here to support you.
I got to give us something.
Sine team ya umasipala ne province babhizi bayahlanganisa for immaterial manje. Yeah. Babhizi bayahlanganisa.
Premier, just a moment. Hi, it's Malungelo from ENC.
Can we? Let's go and talk down there, please.
Just a moment. Just a moment. We're live on air. We're live on air.
Yes, we will do that. Don't worry.
I just want to find out
what
did you mean when you were saying that?
We will do that, Malungelo.
What did you mean when you say that residents would be helped out as a matter of urgency? Does that mean you guys will be providing residents with building material as soon as possible?
I'll talk to you later.
No, but you've got to talk to me now.
No,
Premier.
I'll talk to you later.
Why?
Yeah, I'll talk to you later. I just want to attend to the people first.
Okay, okay. Michelle, you can see, well, I've made an effort to ask him my question, and of course he says he's going to talk to us a bit later. He wants to first talk to the people that have been left destitute by this fire.
All right, Malungelo, we're going to leave it there for now and come back to you in just a moment when the Premier is ready to speak to us. Gauteng Premier David Makhura on a walkabout there in Alexandra following that devastating fire yesterday. 500 homes destroyed in that fire, people losing absolutely all of their belongings in the fire. David Makhura telling residents just a short while ago that this is not about politicking, this is about helping them as soon as possible. He's also promised residents that their structures will be rebuilt as a matter of urgency. Malungelo Boy trying to push him on the details of exactly what that means, exactly what kind of shape and form that help will take. The Premier saying that he's not going to answer that question right now, but that he will address the media a little later on. So